Now, as a 22-year-old recent college graduate, living in New York City is no easy feat. On a day-to-day basis, there are literally a dozen things you can spend your money on, and trust me when I say it can easily add up. And especially with everyone moving to New York City, the cost of living has just exponentially grown, so this made me curious about how much exactly I spent in 1 week as a 22-year-old living in New York City. But before this video begins, I want to talk to you guys about this app that I've been using called Chae, which has not only been helping me save my money, but will roast me based on the useless things that come out of my bank account. Honestly, the app is pretty simple. It tracks how much you use on various categories like groceries, transportation, food, rent. But the really unique thing is they have this chat feature, which basically feels like you're talking to a sassy friend who not only keeps you and your finances in check, but ensures that you're not wasting your money on pointless things. In my roast, Cleo basically said that I was spending too much at Dunkin' Donuts, and honestly, they weren't wrong. It's a super easy and fun way to take control of your finances, so if you guys are interested to check it out, there will be a link in my description so you guys can download and see how much you guys could be saving. But first things first, let's calculate our recurring cost, or the cost that we're gonna have to spend monthly regardless of whatever I'm gonna be spending throughout the week. Obviously, there are some factors we have to take into account before we can look at our weekly spending. So first, let's figure out how much exactly we're paying for rent. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when we found our apartment during COVID, we actually got a really great deal, which was super clutch because trust me when I say that I cannot afford living here again next year. Our apartment is originally a 2-bedroom, but we flexed it, meaning we built a 3rd bedroom so that we can split the rent more evenly. And for my bedroom, I'm actually paying $1,450, which divided into 4 weeks actually comes out to $362.50. Honestly, when I break it down like that, it kind of blows my mind how much I'm spending on rent per week. In addition to that, I do have a gym membership which costs around $60 a month, so that comes out to around $15 per week. And then finally, I do have utilities like Wi-Fi and electricity that my roommate pays, and usually at the end of the month that comes out around to another $60, so that basically means I'm paying $15 per week for utilities. So before my week has even begun, I've already spent $392.50, and honestly, that's pretty insane. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and see how much I spent on Monday. This video is gonna be brutal, man. Alright, so today I actually didn't spend any money other than one Subway stop, but I did pick up some groceries from H Mart, which is an Asian grocery store. Rather than spending money every single time to eat out for your lunch and dinner, buying a week's worth of grocery just allows you to cook at home and you know you're getting a hearty filled meal. So overall the haul came out to $115, but for the amount of groceries I got and snacks, I think it's gonna definitely hold me over for at least this week. Tuesday was pretty chill and I just met up with my buddy Chandler, so I paid $275 to ride the subway to Midtown. Look at that cinematic movement. Then we hit this coffee shop and I got an iced Americano and a chocolate chip cookie, which ran me $9. New York City is rough, man. Wednesday I had a shoot with one of my interns, so I bought us 2 bacon, egg, and cheese for breakfast, which cost around $10. Then I needed a prop, so I picked up the $6 coffee from Dr. Smoot, and honestly, it didn't even taste that good. Now we're starting the weekend, which is probably when the majority of my spending happens. We honestly kept it pretty chill and just went to a bar, but we each decided to buy a round, and mine ended up being $53 for 3 cocktails. Who got the hot girl summer? On Friday, my roommate's friends were visiting for the weekend, so of course that means we're going out to dinner. We went to this Mexican rooftop and the drinks and food were pretty good. I ended up losing rock, paper, scissors, so I had to pick up the whole tab, which was $300, but mine came out to $60. Still pretty damn expensive for dinner and drinks, but hey, it's New York. Then I paid $275 to head to a bar in West Village, and of course had to slide my buddy the transportation student discount. Hurry. And honestly, I'm pretty sure my friend bought me a drink at the bar, so I didn't spend that much that night. Saturday, I woke up feeling a little hungover, and for some reason, I was craving Popeyes for lunch, so I ended up spending $13. At night, my friend somehow convinced me to go out again, and since I didn't pregame much, I picked up these shooters, which cost $6. Then we wanted to go to a club, and of course in New York City, you have to pay some sort of cover, and we ended up buying tickets, which cost us $24 each. And finally on Sunday, I really only went out to get lunch at OK Dog, which came out to $10 for 2 corn dogs. Now, after doing all of our calculations, our grand total came out to nearly $800, and that's just in 1 week. Now, was this week relatively light in terms of spending? To be honest, no, not really. In fact, I think most of my weeks I spent around this much, if not more, which is pretty absurd considering the fact that I didn't even go shopping or splurge on things that I didn't really need. Now, about half of that $800 actually came from my recurring costs like my gym membership, rent, utilities, so there's really nothing else I could do about that. But regarding the other $400, the majority of it, as we saw, basically went to things like food, coffee, drinks. While yes, we did have some friends visiting, which definitely meant we're gonna spend a little bit more. On the day-to-day, living in New York City is not cheap. If you don't wanna take the subway and call an Uber, boom, easily $20 right there. there. You want to treat yourself to a nice little coffee thinking it's only $5. Nowadays they're charging 50 cents to add ice, $1 for syrup, tax and tip, and boom, you've already spent $8 on a coffee. And honestly, that can easily add up in New York City. Don't even get me started on nightlife. That's probably where 25% of my monthly income goes to. Covers for club, the minimum you're gonna spend is $20. You want to get a drink at the bar, beers are $10, cocktails are $15. And honestly, don't even get me started on shots. Them hoes cost at least $12. And I've got to be honest, after making this video, it has pretty much made me realize that living in New York City is extremely expensive. But that's not to say there's so many other great things about the city. These are just my personal experiences. And obviously how much you're gonna be spending in a week depends on your income as well as where you are in life. So if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. Let me know what you guys thought about how much I spent in a week, because $800 times 4, damn, I'm nearly paying 3K, 3.5K living in New York City, and that shit is insane. So please drop a comment, like, subscribe, because that's the only way I'm gonna be able to afford to continue making videos. But that's it for me today, and I'll see you guys next time.